3, 2, 1, go.
You're on unique access, and you will be edutained by T. Rodgers. There is a difference between edutainment and education. There's a direct pipeline from kindergarten to the penitentiary. We reverse that education into edutainment. I learn differently from other people. My mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother made it fun to learn as opposed to standing over me with a ruler or a paddle. That became not only punishment, but it also became abuse on a firm foundation of the Willie Lynch letter, to where one was beaten into submission to learn ooh, wait a minute, hold on. You bet not read. If you learn how to read, I will kill you. But I want you to read this. What they wanted you to read was something else. We'll not get into that. The myths of T. Rodgers, starting out with just education, a case to be fought in court for your life, case shunning, which shuns you into either humiliation, degradation, or humiliation, versus edutainment, to make it fun to learn, to have a thirst, to grab all of the knowledge that the universe has. The myths of T. Rodgers. To, at 7 years old, to be allowed to go outside and play in the backyard on the south side of Chicago with the big kids. And then to venture outside of that fenced-in backyard into the alleyway. And as I looked down that alleyway, and the sun started to set, because you know back then, you had to be in the house before the street lights came on. I couldn't chase lightning bugs and put them in the jar where you pull the butts off of them. But then as I got older, I did. The myths of T. Rodgers. To believe that long alleyway in the setting sun where discarded wine bottles and beer cans and broken glass shine like diamonds and rubies and emeralds and pearls. And I was the prince of that alley. It was, in my mind, the hidden, forbidden treasure of Aladdin or any other Walt Disney's fantasized sons and stories that was fed to me, the myths of T. Rodgers. To think that I got put out of school because I didn't put down on my final test that Christopher Columbus discovered America. Christopher Columbus said, not Eureka, he said, oops, as he fell off the boat and hit his head on Plymouth Rock. The myths of T. Rodgers. I lived on the second floor of a tenement building. Wasn't no chimneys, ho, ho, ho. And the only hose that I knew was down on 42nd Street. I had a little red wagon, my first hustle. I had a little red wagon. I would heat bricks from the basement and take them down there so the hose could ho, ho, ho. Welcome to Chicago. I think they call it Xmas. That's a whole nother lesson that you can learn in the self-class, Survival Education for Life and Family. The myths of T. Rodgers is to think that I can join their gang, I could join our gang as opposed to their gang. It has nothing to do with our gang, Spanky and the Little Rascals, and none of them. But that's another gang altogether. The myths of T. Rodgers is that when I was coming up and my older brother was a Boy Scout, I wanted to be a Cub Scout. And they let me in. I had the uniform, and I was dressed, and all the girls, they love a man in uniform. And I was gaining my badges, and they threw up gang signs, and made me pledge, and courted me in. They had a thing called a belt line, and if you did something wrong, they would send you through this belt line, and I still have a scar where you wasn't supposed to get hit with the buckle. They beat my ass with the myths of T. Rodgers, to only find out that the scoutmaster was a pedophile. The myths of T. Rodgers, who said join our gang as opposed to their gang, to where I would have been molested had I not had a bigger brother. That when all is said and done, rat-a-tat-tat-tat is the only sound spreading them goddamn blues around, joining their gang as opposed to our gang, and I wound up embraced, encased, and loved by the almighty Black Keystone Nation. The myths of T. Rodgers. That was the introduction into my survival. The myth of T. Rodgers. At that time, it was not a gang. It was an organization. It was a organized nation. The myths of T. Rodgers will not say on my tombstone, here lies T. Rodgers, the leader and founder of the almighty Black Keystone Nation on the West Coast. There's much more to me than just that. I am a father. I'm a grandfather. Family first. I am what is called, through African tradition, a griot. So when one is addressed by OG, the myths of T. Rodgers, one is addressed by the term OG, it doesn't mean original gangster. There's only three things in a gang. Out of my mouth, and quote me if you will. College, kids, and homosexuals. I never was in a gang. Never. 75-80% of California prisons are SNY, special needs yards, which transfers over into PC, protective custody, which transfers over into Punk City. So the down low homosexual gangs have to be more violent and vicious than the traditional gangs in order for them to survive. The myths of T. Rodgers. The myths of T. Rodgers has to be 6'6", 18-inch arms, 38-inch chest, 29-inch waist, one-eyed, unibrow, teeth knocked out. Not true. I'm 5'6". I've been 5'6" since the 8th grade. People are afraid of a man who acts wisely. My Uzi weighs a ton. Did I say that my AK has turned into a 401k? Does one want war or revolution? The myths of T. Rodgers. Because I understand and I listen. I've mastered the art of listening to people that you may deem undesirable, disenfranchised, or gang members who are actually your children and your grandchildren, your nephews, your cousins, your aunts, your brothers, your mothers, your grandfathers, grandmothers. Because I listen and I'm able to digest that information and regurgitate solutions and answers. The myths of T. Rodgers. People are afraid of a man who acts wisely. The myths of T. Rodgers. He said, I am so misunderstood. If I just changed that just a little bit and said, I am so misunderstood. The myths of T. Rodgers. If now you sit with me and in 5 minutes I share with you part of my life experience in my soul, and I beg you, just be still. Just be still. And in you being still, listen to your soul. The soul knows how to heal you. It knows the answer. It knows what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life. The myths of T. Rodgers. When you put 10 on the 2 and they say that I've done this and I've done that and I've done this, not true. What has happened is this. The speaker of truth has no friend. the speaker of truth has no friends. So that's pretty much, well, if we got just a little bit deeper, which I won't do on this particular interview, you have to wait for something else that's coming down the line that's much bigger than that. I will say this. On my journey, on completing my mission, there are 5 stages that I had to go through, and you will too. And you will too, if the Creator, the universe, and the ancestors get together and allow you to live. Because we've given birth to a generation that's not afraid of anything. Did I say anything about do you want war or revolution? That's another subject. The myth of T. Rodgers.
Perfect. All right, we're good.
Where the fuck all?
What you need then?
Turn this light just a little bit.
I found my card. So what did Benny Boone have to say?
Benny's with it. They're leaning more toward a reality TV show than a biopic. You can write that, right? I meant to ask you that too.
Yeah,
You
I
can?
can help with that. Absolutely.
Can you write it? Not
Yes,
help with it.
yes, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you get to write about me all kinds of shit.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time. Keep it going. That's how we do it.
So, to bring you up to date, they're leaning toward a reality TV show because they want to get more bang for the buck as opposed to an hour-and-a-half biopic.
Right.
I guess they want that longevity of the money, blah, 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 blah. Of course, they're in the editing right now, and then after September,
Right.
right. Somebody else in the industry said that it took not Singleton, I want to kill his ass. It took LT a minute, years to get the funding for that.
Yeah.
And they were like sort of prepping me that, it's probably not gonna go right into production.
Oh, the reality show?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just again, since you're not live, make sure you
Right.
talk up a little bit louder.
I always gotta work on that myself.
We are speeding. Check this focus. Cool.
Good to go?
Yeah.
You ready to?
It's an off and on switch for me.
Yes. We'll switch it on. All right. What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker on Unique Access. Today we have a best album segment, but we're going to do a little remix, man, because we got a special guest, T. Rodgers, and he wants to focus on a best song. T. So one of your best songs is All I Need to Get By, Method Man, Mary J. Blige.
Absolutely. The thing with that, real quick,
Yes, sir.
and I'll be very honest with you. The harder, tougher a person's personality is, the fuck is his character, the cream puff. So I've got this persona and this living legend that follows me. That I'll just, you know what I mean?
Right.
But when I heard, and Method Man and Mary J., during her hardship years,
Yes.
okay, that shit touched me. If I'm out and I'm battling the enemy, then I gotta fight the police, and I gotta deal with bill collectors, and I come home, I want sort of Beyonce's Katie, okay? I want those type of love songs because gangsters need love too.
Right.
But the one that hits me the most, oh my God, they're going back and forth, a la Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell,
Right.
remix, brought up to, up to speed. And I've always loved Method Man's quote unquote swag. I gotta say this. Little boys have swag, grown men have class. So I like the class now of Method Man and Mary J.
Right.
And Mary J was the epitome of all women who have been hurt and scorned and fucked over. You know what I mean? But that song, he said, man, you're all I need to get by. He says, you're my ride and die. He said, I will die for you. I will cry with you. man, and ooh, I've been to prison, but I ain't been to prison for snitching. But when them bars, when them doors rack,
Right.
and they cut them lights out, motherfucker cry like a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully I've never been incarcerated, but when I'm going to visit, it's a very stark feeling, even for the visitors to see like when that gate closes, man. It's a cold feeling.
Right, and then in some prisons it's only to visit through the glass, so you don't have human touch.
Yeah, they got that at the towers downtown. I've been there.
The mail, money, visits, and packages.
Right.
Mail, money, visits, and packages. That's what keeps you human when you're in prison. You've got contact to the outside world, accept my phone calls. If you can't, then write me. Keep the letters coming.
Right.
If you can't do that, then put a wet 40 on my books so that I could live as a man. And I don't have to do the things inside the penitentiary that I have to do outside of getting a 2-cent job.
Right.
It keeps my dignity and my pride. If all I need to get by is just you. He said, never give my coochie away, even when I'm upstate,
Right.
baby.
Right.
Every man wants that, even quote unquote pimps, unless he's pimping purely from the womb, which is unheard of now. This is totally off subject. If a
Maybe
young-
not. Maybe not.
If
Maybe
it's
not.
relatable. A young girl, preferably a renegade, who hasn't been turned out properly, she chooses somebody because of his swag or his hood reputation,
Right.
and she gives him some money in his mint, does not make him a pimp.
True.
Does not make him a, but he'll wear that jacket and has no idea because she will fire him in a minute, and he'll tell her, if you hit me, I'm gone.
Right.
What's the first thing he do?
Yeah.
So you think he'll be a bitch? Your mama's a bit nonstop.
But on a different level, I did like, because a lot of times in songs or rappers have a stigma of not respecting black women. And on that song, he says, I love your body and your skin tone. And I thought that was a very powerful message on such a big song. You know, Puffy did the remix, produced it, but he's saying here, like, I love the way that you look, you know, I love your skin. And I thought that was an important message to send to women and girls too. What did you take from that?
I played past the skin. I mean, that song, I could see her naked body. Don't mean shit to me. Because I'm looking at your naked soul, the harmony, the vocal, that whole, you gotta listen to it, that whole thing. They made love on that album. You know, that was some thuggish, ruggish bone love going down with the beat. Come on, man.
And they even, Method Man also referenced my favorite rapper, Schoolie D, when he had the little Chiba Chiba y'all there. That was a little Saturday night Schoolie D reference. Shout out Schoolie and Meth for doing that.
That boy said to Cal.
Yes, sir.
So
Well,
that right there, though, right quick, it was the epitome of maybe a decade or more of urban ghetto street thug love, gangster love. That right there, I don't know no brother that was either a thug or a gangster or a hustler that could not and did not relate to that and make love to that. I didn't say fuck, I said make love to that.
there's a difference.
Classic.
Yeah, well, there it is. Here on Best Albums, we got T. Rodgers, Soren Baker on Unique Access with a little bit of a remix from Method Man, Mary J. Blige, All I Need to Get By.
Hey, yo, DJ, bring that beat back. Turn that shit up too, man. Blast that shit.
All right, cool.
Nice.
I'm just sitting here playing with my balls.
Okay. Well, then we definitely don't need that.
I think that's a great way to start the interview.
Let's not.
I ain't gonna get everybody in here because I can't remember them.
What's up, everybody? Soren Baker here on Unique Access, and today we're joined by T. Rodgers. Thank you for coming through, sir.
No, thank you for having me. I mean, it's always an honor and a pleasure to be just noticed. You know, I mean, you didn't have to have me here. You know, and I could have still been hiding in plain sight. So much gratitude, and I appreciate you just having me here, and you being you, and our long-lasting friendship.
Well, thank you, T. I appreciate that, man.
Yes,
It's a
sir.
beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. So, T, you have something that I am familiar with your self class. I sat in on it 1 week, and I thought it was very informative. And I think this is something that
Well, you know, Soren, you never gave me honest, brutal feedback from that class. Now I have you. Let's hear it.
well, I thought it was well. First of all, explain what the acronym is, and then we'll get into that.
The self class is survival education for life and family, and we basically we use a foundation of life skills, soft skills, and we cover all of the things that need to be covered right now. The relationships, the parenting, the abuse, the anger management. We cover all those dynamics
Right.
on a foundation of the rites of passage.
Right.
So what we're doing now, and I think that was one of the classes you sat in on,
Yes. Sir.
we were formulating with people all over the country
Yeah.
how to come up with the rites of passage for this generation and still keep it traditional.
Right. And I think one of the things that I liked about the class that I participated in was that, you know, as the generation, as times pass, we have had a disconnect between parents. We've had a disconnect with the children being able to follow directions, have direction, listen, and different things. And I thought that it was good how you were giving a lot of the people in the class ways that they could pay attention, listen, respect what other people's opinions are, regardless of their age, and especially understanding that you don't know everything and no one knows everything. And I think that was a great part of the class. So is that something that you find that's important to do?
And it's almost paramount
Okay.
because it's not a T. Rodgers class. It is a self class,
Right.
a survival class. It's a survival class in all levels and all aspects. The class, and it's always ran that way. We ask the feeling word. How do you feel right now in the beginning of the class?
Right.
And then we ask the same thing at the end of the class. But in that interim, I'm just a facilitator. I may know the answer, but it's not my job to give the class the answer. My job is just to guide and direct which way that they should go.
Right.
So that information comes out of them. As I stated before, I shared with you, be still. And when one is still, all those answers lie deep inside your soul. It is that God voice inside of you that will heal you. Your soul will heal you. It knows how to heal you, and it also knows your plan, what you're supposed to do. In that class, we stress that you have to give up the life you're living to live the life that is planned for you. And a lot of people don't want to do that. Did you know that there are 4 fears?
What are they?
It is fear of change, fear of success, fear of failure, and fear of the unknown.
Why do you think people are fearful of success?
But you die and cry and yearn and burn and kill for freedom.
Right.
So if we just briefly, we talk about what is freedom. I'm going to throw it back to you. What is freedom?
I think it starts in your mind first.
Absolutely.
Your
Well,
Your mind and your body.
not your body.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. There you go.
Take it directly from the class. Directly from the class. Here we go. To be independent, you have to live on an island. Your best friend is a monkey and you wipe your ass with a leaf. Next thing is to be interdependent, to where the women of today can only go to the store and buy cut up chicken because he doesn't know how to cut up a chicken or how many parts that's in it. Or buy toilet, interdependent. And then lastly, it is codependent, to where either partner says, I cannot live without you. I need you. You are my life. You're my everything. Not so. Not so. The other person doesn't make you happy. Happiness comes from yourself.
Right.
These are just some of the things that we talk about. Here we go. There's 2 formulas that we basically use, that the class uses. Do you remember what they were?
Well, I remember listening is a very important part of it.
Absolutely. But the formula for solving problems are twofold. One I got from Jim Brown, which is the first one. Eliminate the negative, establish the facts, and pick your best options. First thing, eliminate the negative.
Right.
Second thing, once that emotionalism is gone, you establish the facts, not the rumor, not the emotion, not what they said, but what the facts are. And from the facts, you're able to pick your best options. I got this from another mentor of mine. 5 W's plus H. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. If you answer those brutally honest, you will get the answer to any question. I'm going to give you another one. If when a amazing academician and a pure practitioner comes together, that's 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The world doesn't have a problem them two cannot solve together.
True. So why do you think there's so much chaos in the world?
It's on a firm foundation of the Willie Lynch letter.
And you think that's for the whole world?
For the whole world. Willie got around.
Right.
Lynched a lot of motherfuckers.
No doubt on that, sadly.
So the foundation of the Willie Lynch letter, I believe in deja vu, which is another one of my favorite, Tina Marie, my God. I'll come back again. If your life is filled with sin, you'll come back again, deja vu. When I read that passage, as I stand before you on the banks of the Mississippi River, I will show you how to keep your slaves in line for over 400 years. It's been 500 now, and they're still enslaved. As I look around in the studio, I don't see it. There's no Jordans. Nobody in here is wearing Jordans. The materialistic slavery, the keeping up with the Joneses, I got to have, the car is bigger, the car is she's cuter, she's got model, but to play past her naked body and to look into her soul, it's what the class teaches, not only the men, but the women. Now we're going to transfer that over and teach our children the same thing through the rites of passage.
Right.
So he says, I can knock you out with a right or a left. I can impregnate every girl in the block. And then she says, my rites of passage is being able to work and twerk.
Right.
Just hit that pole. I got a trick. Because I can take a banana. Doesn't know the rites of passage, but she becomes a woman because she bleeds doesn't really mean that she breeds. Because she is of legal age does not make her grown.
Right.
What makes her grown is life experience, and through that life experience gives her maturity, where a woman will say no. A grown woman will say no. And when she says no, no means no, which doesn't mean that you can rape her or date rape her. And it is not, no, don't, no, don't, no, oh, no, oh, no, oh. It's not that, and that's a joke. But that shit ain't funny. You know what I mean? Because when your ass was in prison and you said no, the big homie raped your ass. Where did that come from?
I don't know, T. But we should tell people how to get involved with the self-class. How do people find it?
Absolutely. I think that I was honored and highly favored by the universe and the ancestors to do this particular class online. And you can do it, right off your Android or your iPhone. So it's not a physical location, although we're working on a physical location with one of my handlers, Ben Eisenberg, who also came up with the concept to do the self-class online. And then one of the other collectives that Self has is Kenny B, who is a historian, and he tapes and he keeps for posterity a lot of the things that we do. So there is a machine that's behind the class, and again, it's just not T. Rodgers' class. One of the first places you can go is www.edutainment, trodgersinc.com. RODGERSINC.com. Kenny, help me out here. The Twitter, my name on Twitter,
Famous Warrior.
it's
Famous Warrior.
it's Famous Warrior on Twitter, and it's T Rodgers Inc. on Twitter, and what's the other one? Instagram.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but no, it's not. Don't worry about it. It's a name on Twitter, but I can get that to you, or
We'll tag it when we post it. Don't worry about
absolutely.
it. Okay.
You still hitting shit up? You still got that with the space? I like tagging too.
Yeah, well,
Quick story.
yes, sir.
But in my heyday, we would stop the bus and ride on it. If it moved, we would stop it and hit it, tag it. But did I just
Yes, sir. Yeah.
self-admit to?
Yes, you did.
Oh, Lord. But I got a team of lawyers too, though.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, real quick, the self class, we also, Sidewalk University is a human crisis consulting company to where we don't care what your crises are. If it's gang banging in the home, if it's parenting, if it's abuse, and that's DV, the domestic violence, oh man. I mean, and a lot of people don't even know when they're being abused
Right.
in the home.
Because a lot of it's mental also.
It's all mental.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, not all, but a lot of it.
no, it's all mental. Because if you're in your right mind and you're with your partner, it should be on a foundation of love,
True.
unconditional love.
True.
And anything outside of that is a mental illness.
Mm.
So, and again, that's what we teach in class. Stripping, gangbanging, violence, getting high, the instant gratification of wanting to feel good is all on the foundation of mental illness that we teach inside the class. It's not, you know what? I never had a job in my life. I've never had a job in my life. Everything that I've done, and including cooking, is a hobby and a labor of love. You know, shameless plug. I make a mean 50-cent taco. Yeah, 50 cents. Oh, I gotta do this. Come on down to Kenny B's Howard's on 11th and Elm. I feel like hell.
You're not selling Fords though.
No, we're not. No. So these are the things that we're doing now. We're supporting Kenny B and his business. It's one of the only black-owned Chinese food establishments in LA. There is a very, very young woman who is very industrious that has I believe it's called Supermarket, spelled differently. It's an Instagram business right now. I've forgotten her name. She gonna kill me. But it is a Instagram business.
Or you want to look it up real quick? We'll just cut it.
Her name, Olympia August. And what they're doing is they're putting together this organic business.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I cook for those who have mental problems, but they diabetes, high blood pressure, all the things that plague the community. And I specialize in that, and we're partnering, collaborating together. She's going to get organic foods, and I'll cook them, and we're going to go to, there's 35 black farmers in the U.S., and we're going to contact all 35 of them. There's another guy, a young guy, he's in his 30s. He grosses over $700,000 a month on his clothing line that he's shipped over to Japan. Of course, we've got one rapper who happens to be one of my grandsons, and my other grandson, I'm grooming him to take over two of the businesses that I have. So we keep that within the family. That is my legacy. There are other, Steve-O Blackheart, who is out of Houston, that is the engineer for Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
So we're helping and supporting him and his business. And this is what we're doing. You want a war or you want revolution? And I've been fighting all my life. T. Rodgers is absolute and perfect famous warrior. I was born to do nothing but fight. When I was young and mean and my mind was more keen, I've earned a rep with my hands. Ooh, my God, I knock you out with a right or left, a front snap kick, a spinning heel. Now, I just beat your brains up. I just beat your brains up. And then after that, I support you in what you want to do. Because I don't want to teach you or train you to get a job and go to your grave as a slave for the minimum wage. I want you to do what you love doing. If it is something that you love doing, it is not a job, it's not going to work, but it's a labor of love, and you're getting paid for what you love to do.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing now, and supporting black businesses all over. I mean, we've got a guy, Twilight Bay in London, we're supporting him with his radio show. So we're global with this, and we're not so much giving back, but we're doing what we're supposed to do. It is that village concept, you know, where the barter system sometimes, you know.
Right.
We were getting into urban guerrilla gardening. I shouldn't have said that. You knocked that building down where I used to stay. Man, we planting potatoes, tomatoes, herbs. And then when you come back and you talk crap, we take it up and go plant it over somewhere else. Then I got my grandmother, I got my auntie, I got Uncle Joe. They got planters, they got baskets. I mean, a basket.
I was gonna say, I'm not familiar with those.
Yeah, so that was from a classic movie with Joe Pesci. All I got is this basket, man. You got a new car.
Yeah.
But we're taking the dirt and we're cultivating those the planters. I mean, on your windowsill, your back porch, wherever there is land, grow something. You want war or revolution. You control your money. We are the greatest consumers in the world. And we start read and digest the Willie Lynch letter and then regurgitate it. And as you regurgitate it, live it that particular way. And these are your first steps to freedom. These are your first steps to freedom.
Right. And there it is, y'all. It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access, joined by T. Rodgers, the legend. Appreciate you coming through, sir.
I'm the legend of Zeldor.
And cutting.
We're gonna say hi. This is T. Rodgers, and if you could remember to say Unique Access, because that's the name of the channel.
That's a big username.
So if you could say, hey, this is T. Rodgers, you're on Unique Access, and this is a myth that I grew up believing. And then go into the story, and once you take a break from telling the story, I'll start asking you a couple questions, and then we'll be done in a couple
So
minutes.
let me ask you this.
Yes,
So
sir.
this would be the first segment shown or the
Not
last?
necessarily.
So right now you don't know. It's just
That's correct.
in editing.
It's because they're gonna be on, because we run them on different days. Like I was telling you, each one is on a different day. And
So, okay.
it depends on.
No, I got it. No, I got the answer I needed. I got the answer I needed. I got the answer.
Can you fix
That one's up a little higher than that one. The elbow,
yeah,
What's that?
the
Armrest.
the armrest, the elbow.
Yeah.
thing.
Can you even those out? Because it'll look weird on camera.
What happened?
The
No,
elbows
the two
are
armrests
off,
aren't even. One is.
as you should.
Sorry, let me have you talk real quick. I just want to.
Mic check 1, 2 in the place to be. Making it happen, Cap. Yes. Here we are talking. We're about to make it happen.